You're telling yourself the story. I always do the wrong thing. In the relationship with people, the romantic relationship, the platonic relationship, I always say the wrong thing. I'm never understood. And so what happens? You manifest the people, you attract in the people who don't understand you, you attract in the people where you do the wrong thing. What we'd like for you to realize today, or to begin realizing, perhaps, if you'd like to shift your perspective, if you're willing, if you want it, if it's what you desire, is that you can't do the wrong thing with the right people. You can't do the wrong thing with the right people. Now, there are certain things, I don't know, you probably shouldn't, kill someone's dog. You know what I mean? Killing somebody's pet is probably something you can't come back from. You know? I mean, but if it was an accident, but I'm talking about you just met someone, you have no relationship with them, you probably shouldn't go up to them and like their dog. You know? That probably would be something that would break a relationship, you know? But other than that, the things that we're talking about, the things that you're afraid of in relationships, saying the wrong thing, I for the longest time, okay, there's a couple of different things for me in like love relationship and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, what if I sound like a dork? My guides are like, well, babe, they're gonna find out sooner or later, so it might as well be sooner, you know? Sometimes I just nerd out about astrology or one of my many, many other passions, and I'm just like, you know, Hamilton. Oh, am I talking too loud? Sometimes I get overexcited, chewed off at the mouth. I never had a group of friends before. I promise that I'll make y'all proud. You know, it's that type of energy. Oh, wow. If that person doesn't like the way that I speak, if that person doesn't like the way that I communicate, if that person can't handle, meaning doesn't want to interact with me, doesn't want to deal with that, then it's better for me to feel the rejection of, oh my God, this person doesn't want to connect with me. This person is not compatible with me. Than it is for me to continue trying to connect with somebody, trying to alter and change who I am in order to get their love. Because I'm not going to change. Because I'm not going to talk less. Because I'm not going to care less about certain things. It's just not who I'm ever going to be. So if that's not somebody that you want to connect with, if that's not somebody who you want to talk with, if that's not somebody who you want to spend time with, then we're just not compatible, and that's okay. That's okay. It's okay for us not to be compatible with people, and it's okay for us to still feel rejected. In my friendships, doing a lot of interpersonal relationship healing, learning how to build, learning how to connect with people. In terms of my attachment style in love and just friendship relationships, I got a pretty disorganized attachment style. It's because of my fucked up childhood that I'm still healing from. That after barely realizing in more recent years, I needed healing from. And more currently realizing I have interpersonal trauma healing that needs to be dealt with. You know what I mean? It's not right to expect me to realize I gotta heal from trauma and then all of a sudden be able to have a perfect, secure relationship. I'm all better. No. I have disorganized attachment style, which means sometimes I can get close to people and then I don't really feel the most safe. And so I need to retreat and I need to back off. And that's just where I am right now. So the partners that I attract, the friends who I attract, are going to understand that. And if they don't understand it, we aren't compatible and we won't be friends. And there are some people who might feel like, oh, she's not responding to me and she's on social media and she's doing all of these things. And that was what I was attracting because that's what I was afraid of, right? I was like, oh my God, I really want to make these new friendships. I really want to form these connections. Like, I love people. I love having friends. I want to have people that I connect with. I want to have people. I want to have a sense of community. I want to do brunch. I want to do brunch. My name is Nathallie Hughes and I love brunch and I'm 22 years old and I have yet to have a bottomless mimosa day where I'm getting in the back of a fucking taxi or an Uber screaming, "Mato crazy." I want that experience. And it's what I deserve. It's what I deserve. And in order to have that experience to the full amazing amount, I need friends who will also be in the back seat screaming, "My throat crazy." Seriously. That's a desire that I have. That's a goal that I have. In order to get there, in order to reach that, in order to have those connections, I have to be able to feel safe in a connection, to communicate to my friends, to communicate to my partners, hey, I'm not feeling safe, to be able to communicate, hey, when you said that, did you mean this, and this? Because I kind of took it that way. And being able to actually have a genuine, authentic, open and honest conversation about it. I'm a really communicative person, and I was trying to stop communicating with people because I felt like that was somehow bad or terrible, right? Because of societal standards and what we say about love and relationships, and you're supposed to be the most evasive as you can possibly be and all of that shit. But just realizing, like, no, I'm not playing a game. I want genuine, authentic love and connection in my life. And so I'm going to ask you, do you want genuine, authentic love and connection with me? Do you actually want to hang out with me? And sometimes you don't need to ask somebody, do they want to hang out with you? Sometimes it's them not asking to hang out with you. You know what I mean? So basically, our moral of the story is, right now in my relationships, there was a part of me that I've really been doing some good job integrating. I've been doing really good replying to my messages in like the past 72 hours. The past 72 hours, we've been experiencing a lot of breakthroughs and just me allowing myself to show up. I wasn't responding to messages because my anxiety was so bad. I want this friendship so bad that my biggest thing is you are going to say the wrong thing. People aren't going to like you, blah, 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 right? So I wasn't even allowing myself to be present in my relationships with others, right? When you have social anxiety and all of your thoughts are on, what if this person doesn't like me? What if I do the wrong thing? You're not even connecting with that person. You're connecting with yourself. You're in a relationship with yourself because you're just me. What if I do the wrong thing and blah, blah, blah. When in fact, it should be a little bit more of an outward focus, right? And just connecting with someone. And how can I get to know this person and see if me and this person have similar interests? And maybe we could be friends, and maybe we could build a friendship and do all of these amazing things together, right? So just being able to sit and say, okay, being honest with where you are. I have a lot of social anxiety that I've been dealing with, that I'm moving through right now. I'm learning that people do love me. I'm learning that people do want to connect with me. I'm learning that people do want to be my friend. And so as I'm moving through this social anxiety, my response is to freeze, is to do absolutely nothing. If I don't feel confident in my ability to show up and have a productive conversation, if I don't feel confident in my ability to show up and to be the person who's worthy of receiving love, right? Being honest based on my wounds, then I'm not going to show up. Then I'm going to let that message sit there until I feel confident in having that conversation. But just because I don't want to have that conversation right now because of what I'm going through doesn't mean that I don't want to be on social media, right? This is part my job, me posting videos, me going live, and it's another part me having fun. I can't have conversations with you in the DMs, but I can post a funny meme, you know what I mean? And then in that way we kind of are connecting, but we are connecting and there's no pressure. And like, do you think this is funny? Good, I'm happy you think it's funny, you know what I mean? So it's being able to recognize, like, the people who I'm going to be friends with, they're going to understand that. They're going to understand that. And instead of just doing the whole, well, I'm just not going to respond to you, I just kind of make it known, like, hey, I'm moving through a little bit of social anxiety right now. So sometimes I'm responding, sometimes I'm not responding. Please don't take it personally, all of that stuff. Once you give that communication, then that's it. And if somebody else feels some type of way about that, if somebody else wonders where they stand with you, if anybody else feels like something, right, then that is now their job. That is now their responsibility to show up and communicate that to you, right? So in your relationships, it's two people having a relationship with one another, romantic relationship, platonic relationship. It's your responsibility to show up. And for a lot of us who have been taking responsibility for everything, we feel like, oh my God, no, I have to send a message and I have to tell them, you know, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no. You communicated how you felt. You communicated what you were going through. You communicated where you were. If that person is compatible with you and your friendship and what you want right now, or a relationship with you, then that person is going to respond and say, hey, I felt X, Y, and Z type of way because I didn't feel prioritized. I didn't feel like you cared about what I said when you didn't respond to my message, or yada, yada, yada. And ultimately, it's about two people being able to show up and honestly communicating with each other, being able to hold space for each other. And a lot of us can't do that, right? A lot of us are afraid of communicating because we're afraid of how someone else is going to respond, because we're afraid of being rejected. So that's okay. It's about recognizing, like, I have social anxiety. Other people might have social anxiety too. And other people's actions usually have nothing to do with me. And so instead of taking, oh my God, they didn't respond to my message, as oh my God, they hate me, they think I'm terrible, they're going to attack me, right? Which is that survival mode, fear of being triggered. Of course, it's an opportunity for healing that you can dive into. Sometimes it's just a feeling of, ooh, I feel rejected. I feel unwanted because that person didn't respond to my messages. And it's okay for me to feel rejected. Of course I feel rejected. Of course, when I reach out to people and try to communicate with them, that I'm hoping for a response back because I want, genuinely to connect with them. So I do feel a little bit rejected. And being able to sit and feel that feeling of rejection, being able to just fall into that completely. And then as that feeling fades, then it's okay. I understand why I feel rejected. It's okay to feel rejected. And I also know that people's actions are usually a reflection of them. And I also know that what I want more than anything is to be in relationships and connections with people who know how to communicate to me. To be in relationships with people who know how to communicate. Oh, when you said that, that hurt my feelings. Or, oh, I didn't appreciate that comment because of X, Y, and Z thing, right? Oh, I now expect to be in relationships with people who can freely and openly communicate. And I know that that's difficult for some people. And if that is difficult for them, then I would love for them to communicate that with me. So really, today's message is about being in relationships with people, recognizing that sometimes you attracted in the people who weren't going to understand you and who were going to reject you because you were telling yourself the story that nobody understands you and everybody rejects you, right? And then also being like, okay, how do we get out of this cycle? Well, communication. I felt really, really bad about not responding to people. And so I was every other second on my Instagram stories like, hey, I see your DMs, I'm going to respond to them. And now it's just like, of course I see your DMs. Of course I'm going to respond to you. And I was taking on so much responsibility. I was in freeze mode, so much pressure, because what if I say the wrong thing? What if people don't like me? What if they don't want to connect with me? That big contrast moment is like doing nothing until you finally do something. And by the time you do something, it's like, oh, this person already hates me. They already think I'm a dick or whatever. And it's being able to realize, like, you know what? I can't control their perception of me. I can't control their perception of me. I have conversations with people. You ever have a conversation with someone? Usually this is like romantic, you know what I mean? And you're like, why the fuck did you say that? You're like, why is this coming out of your mouth? You're like watching yourself. You're like fucking disassociating at this point. You're like watching you and you just keep doing it. And you're just like, it's fucking word vomit from fucking Mean Girls, where you're just like, why is this coming out of your mouth? Please stop. And you're like, rein it back. You're like, do something else, anything else, make another choice. And you're like, it's been said. It's been said, this is who I am. And you're like, this is not who I am. Like, I'm not accurately representing myself right now. But also, this is who I am. It is a part of me, an aspect of me, perhaps an opportunity for healing coming through. So being able to acknowledge that, move through that, do that work there. But also being able to recognize, you know what? Fuck it. That's the message. Fuck it. Because the person who's going to be with you is going to be able to see you for where you are, be able to hold space for you, be able to be compassionate with you, be able to see what you're going through, be able to love you and support you anyway. But you also have to show up and you have to say, this is how I want to be supported. This is how I want to be loved. This is what makes me feel loved. I don't enjoy when you don't respond to my messages, right? And that would depend on the level of intimacy you have with that person, the level of knowing you have with that person, right? Not holding all the responsibility and needing to reach out and tell them like, oh, sorry, blah, 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 allowing it to be a mutual effort. So that's all that we have to say for you guys. We hope you got some amazing shifts for this. Time is almost running out. If you want to work with me, DM me. Let me know what your goals are, what your budget is, and let's create a plan, if I can help you get to where you're trying to go, that will work perfectly for the both of us. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you later. Bye.